Awesome. Hi, my name is Greg
So,
Lane, and my guest today is Genesis Perez. Thank you so much for joining me.
thank you so much for having me. I'm just super excited to talk about poetry. It's kind of my entire life at this point, so it's always exciting to get to talk about it and share it with people who are open to learning more.
1000%. Thank you so much for being here, and the feeling's mutual for sure. Um, First off, what is exciting you most about poetry at the moment?
One of the things that's exciting me a lot about poetry at the moment is I think people who are doing really cool things with language and performance. I have to shout out, I have two books that I made sure to pull specifically for this. Um, Mopes by Kenneth Reveiz
Hmm.
uh, is a super beautiful book on the inside, and I think the way that Kenneth plays with words and language and different concepts throughout the entire book is really fascinating and inspiring. And then I also wanted to shout out Pastiche Queen, who just put out Trans Velociraptors earlier this year, which, if you've seen Jurassic Park, it's kind of a reference to that. Um, and Pastiche is just an amazing performer and such a wonderful person to watch. They've done a lot of like slam style and performance style poetry, but they also wrote an incredible one act show a few years ago that I saw at Hollywood Fringe that they occasionally bring back and put up. And so if you ever get the chance to see it, I cannot recommend it enough. I cannot recommend either of these two poets enough. And so watching people do things that are kind of offbeat and beautiful, but also really intriguing and thought provoking and make you want to keep returning to them, like that stuff's really inspiring me and really making me excited to keep writing, to keep digging up old work, to keep revising and keep sharpening those performing skills and those presenting skills as well.
Absolutely amazing. My mind's blown, and I'll try to not like dwell on Trans Velociraptor too much. That's going to be difficult because that's if you could hold up the cover again, but you're referring to like in the movie how they switch. Yeah. Oh,
It's
that's
beautiful. It's a big old beautiful book. And I just every time I get to see Pastiche read, it is an absolute joy and an absolute delight. Um, I don't know if you can hear the Mr. Softy truck driving by my house right now.
I can't, but
Okay, good. It's just slowly out of my window. I got momentarily distracted by that. But yeah, no, I'm in constant awe. People are incredible performers, and the other thing that's also really inspiring me is poets who are just so open and approachable and just kind. Both Kenneth and Pastiche are the type of people who you can just walk up to after a performance and get to talk to and get to know. And that's something else that I really appreciate. That's also exciting me to add that to my personal practice and to continue being just approachable and honest and genuine with people that I interact with.
beautiful. Love all of that. Thank you so much. And that
Yeah, yeah.
dovetails super well with, my next question here. Which poets were the most impactful in getting you to become a poet?
I love this question. Um, I I had to think about that for a minute and kind of separate it into like sections because on a personal level, when I was first starting to write poetry and starting to perform poetry, around like 14, my mentor, Fernando Alberto Salinas, who, uh, pardon, burped one out for the homie Fernando.
There you go.
He's just, he's been so incredibly patient and incredibly kind and made such a huge effort encouraged me all throughout my teens and now into my early 20s to keep writing, to keep performing, to keep promoting myself as a writer and an artist. And so I'm eternally grateful for that. I also want to shout out Mo Gonzalez, who runs Loud and Queer out of the Central Coast and then occasionally San Diego. They are another amazing poet who's just constantly platforming youth voices, queer voices, and having people like that in my corner really helped me develop my voice and to keep writing. Um, and then when it comes to poets who've passed on, I was always really inspired by the Beats, but I have to specifically shout out Diane di Prima. I still find myself going back to her work and being just in awe of the things that she writes and she talks about. And we're in a really politically turbulent time right now, and so her revolutionary letters are really helping me get through. And I love that they're so digestible that you can just share them with people, and it helps kind of spread that empathy and that enthusiasm for change.
Outstanding. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll talk forever if you let me.
Love it. Absolutely love it. If you could change something about how culture views poetry today, what would it be?
I would love to change the idea that like poets and poetry is like this like super serious, like melodramatic thing. I think a lot of people either see like the when they think of poetry, it's either the like old professor in like tweed or like the really intense, angry slam poet kind of. That's everyone thinks that it's like this serious thing. But some of the most funny, charismatic people I've ever met are poets. People who love to play with the written word and with the spoken word. My friend Chris, who goes by Soul Stuff, when he performs, is a great example of this. He loves the idea of just like playing with poetry and playing with words. And I think that if more people got to see how fun poetry can be and how silly and lighthearted, and you can just it's just another vessel, just like anything else is, I think we would all be a little bit better off because I feel like more people would kind of give it a shot if they felt like they didn't have to take themselves seriously.
100%. Couldn't agree more. All right. So
Yeah.
that said, we'll move into the word association here. I got 10 words, so just whatever comes to mind first is fair game. You ready to rock?
Okay, okay.
You're gonna do great. This is gonna be so much fun. I like seeing people get like a little bit like a little nervous before it, you know? And then a friend of mine, he Denton Loving, I don't know if you know him, but he flipped it around on me and I got to be in the seat for a second, which was fun. But yeah, and I'll be sharing that one. Well, I will have shared that interview soon, but
Okay, cool, cool.
I can't wait to see what you say. Okay, here we go.
Okay. Mhm.
Parrot,
Repetition.
voting,
Duty.
sandwich,
Deli.
syntax,
AP Lang.
peace,
Everyone.
social,
Conflict.
democracy,
Lord.
lore.
It's a good Lord.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, summer,
I'm
creativity,
pencils.
and hope.
My aunt.
I love that. What's your aunt's name?
Esperanza.
Beautiful.
So we call her Aunt Hope. So just yeah.
Perfect, perfect. Cool, cool. Alrighty. And then a recent line that you came across that you find remarkable. Doesn't have to be just one, too. A couple people have shared more than one, but the space is yours.
Awesome. I'm currently reading about um just like the evolution of the poetry scene in Los Angeles, and I saw this in the book that I'm reading. They included a section of a poem that Wanda Coleman wrote called Poetry Lesson Number One.
Yeah.
And this is the last, it's kind of spread out into the last stanza or so. But I think it's just one line. And it says, and I caught the bus home, carrying his words with me, clutching my thin little poems to my heart, glowing in the dark.
Oh, that's perfect.
I love it. Feel that. Just the joy and the hope, all of those things that just like radiate from the written word. I sat there with that for a few minutes. I was like, I felt it. Like you can kind of almost feel yourself kind of glowing with it, which I love.
Oh, that's great. Thank you so much for sharing. And then, yeah, if you could speak to your own work that you have that's either out right now that you want people to check out or is on the way. And then also, yeah, I guess it will have passed again, but also you're performing quite a bit too. So shout out all the things, please.
Absolutely. I have a few years ago I put out a book called Flash Photography. It is still it is still available online. It's available in a handful of bookstores, so keep an eye out for it. Most of the poems were written when I was a teenager, so I'm not super in love with all of them anymore, but I am kind of in a new phase of my life where I'm revisiting and revising. So I still love it for the idea that it's a snapshot of that time. I put out a zine earlier this year called The World Keeps Spinning, which is heavily inspired by the Halsey album, The Great Impersonator. And it's poetry and collages, and it's much more beautiful in person. And I'm super proud of this. It took a long time to get to write about some of these topics for me, so it was really precious, and I do all the art myself.
Yeah, yeah. Let's
Um,
get examples here.
yeah, this is the cover,
Yeah,
but let's see, since I am home and I'm at my desk,
please. Yeah.
this is the actual painting
Yeah.
that I made, and then I scanned that and made the cover.
Amazing.
Yeah. So I love I love art and all of its forms, and I love creating art. So a big I'm doing a lot more visual stuff these days and still writing and incorporating them all together. I have some stuff coming out on Mobile Data Mag in a few weeks, and yeah, I perform a lot. I post a lot about it on my Instagram, which is at Panic versus Euphoria. And that's probably the best way to keep up with where I'm getting published or where I'm performing next.
Amazing. Yeah, we'll shout out all the links and everything. And Genesis, as always, an absolute pleasure. And then, love everything you do at Beyond Baroque as well. If you want to speak to that, how you're paying it forward, being a leader to our young people as well.
Yeah, Beyond Baroque Literary Art Center has become my like home away from home for the last 3 years. I'm originally from Oxnard, California. That's where I'm coming from today, but Beyond Baroque's in Venice, and it's been a really great place to meet and interact with the Los Angeles poetry scene and to make connections with people in LA and people kind of all over the country and all over the world because we have just so many people who come through our doors, and I love working in the bookstore and just being surrounded by books. all of the time. And so um, it is a little stressful right now with all of the changes that are happening in our administration, being a nonprofit, being an arts nonprofit that refuses to deny queer people and people who are immigrants and people of color their personhood, and being an institution that refuses to say that we are going to ignore you and ignore your autonomy and ignore your art and your voice and your abilities. Being that type of institution comes with a lot of risks. And so it is scary some days. But I I wouldn't have it any other way. I wouldn't work anywhere else. I'm incredibly blessed to be where I am and to get to work with all the wonderful people that I get to work with and to meet wonderful people like my coworkers, like my new friends, like you. There are just so many incredible people that go through those doors, and I wouldn't trade for the world.
Yeah, you're fighting the best fights there, and yeah, thank you for everything you do. Thank you to you and everyone on the team that's doing such needful work. Keep it up, please.
Of course, we get through every day, and yeah, no, it's just me and our um, director Jimmy. Every now and then we'll just be in the bookstore doing something, and we'll just look at each other and we'll go, "So lucky that this is our job
Yeah,
and
yeah,
this is our life." So there's a lot of love and appreciation that happens there.
absolutely, absolutely, and yeah, and Friday night, I'll be there as well as a member, and I just love the programming that is consistent and brings new voices out and keeps the support going regardless of everything else that's happening. Just truly value everything you and the team are doing.
Thank you. It means a lot to hear it. It really does.
1000%. Well, we'll talk soon. Thanks again for your time and energy. It means so much.
Of course, thank you. Thank you for hosting this space. I can't wait to see what happens next, and I can't wait to see how it grows and how many more wonderful people get to talk to you.
1000%. See you soon.
See you soon.